Diving into the world of iconic Rolex watches might seem a little overwhelming at first, right? But there's no need to stress. That's exactly why authorized Rolex dealers are around. And have you ever heard of the 70-30 rule? It's a shocking rule, and might just be the nudge you need to rethink your approach. Apparently, these experts are like your personal tour guides, because they've got all the insights, the know-how, and the secret sauce that makes choosing your Rolex less about stress and more about the thrill. They'll walk you through the options, break down the fine details of each watch, and help you pick one that you'll be proud to flash around for many years. Welcome to Opulent Oasis. Today we're diving into a little-known secret that might just change how you view those fancy Rolex boutiques. Haven't hit subscribe yet? You might want to do that now so you don't miss out on the juicy bits we uncover next. Now we all know that Rolex is the pinnacle of luxury watchmaking, celebrated worldwide as a symbol of success and elite status. But with such fame comes a whole host of myths and tall tales about the brand. For a good while now, Rolex has been tightening up its retail networks, which led quite a few traders to lose interest in stocking their watches. This move cleverly stirred up some hype around their products, and suddenly their watches were more coveted than ever, skyrocketing in value. Generally, people buy a Rolex to signal they've made it big, showcasing their success and financial clout. Have you ever wandered into a Rolex store and noticed the plethora of elegant Datejusts, but barely any of those high-demand sports watches? Yep, there's a clever tactic at play. It's known as the Rolex 70-30 rule. For every 70 classy non-steel pieces like the Oyster Perpetual that fly off the shelves, dealers get to roll out 30 of those hard-to-get sports models. We bet many of you are curious about how these dealers get to be the go-to spots for snagging some of that Rolex glam. Well, it comes down to a pretty strict contract with Rolex. This isn't your average handshake deal. We're talking about a full-blown agreement with lots of fine print about what they can and can't do. Apparently, Rolex is pretty picky about who gets to showcase their watches. These chosen few are officially dubbed ORS, or Authorized Rolex Sellers, tasked with upholding the brand's luxe vibe and appeal, no matter where they're located. To keep things exclusive and top-notch, Rolex keeps a tight lid on the number of these authorized dealers. If you're looking to get your hands on one of these coveted watches, you'll have to head to the creme de la creme of jewelry stores or check out a certified Rolex jeweler, also known as official jewelers. However, Rolex doesn't just hand out this title because they enforce strict standards, and any retailer that doesn't make the grade could find themselves cut from the prestigious Rolex network. But don't worry, if one store slips up, it won't throw shade on other stores under the same banner, all thanks to some savvy structuring in their contracts. Quick break, though. Why not subscribe and join the Opulent Oasis community? Stay ahead with our top-notch content. Back to the discussion. All right, let's peel back the curtain on how Rolex and their authorized dealers manage the stock of those much sought-after watches. Every year, dealers are stuck playing by Rolex's rules, ordering only what Rolex decides to dish out to them. Now you might feel a step closer to snagging your dream watch by getting your name on the waiting list at your local authorized dealer. But here's the thing, how quickly you move up that list might depend on how valuable the dealer thinks you are. If you've dropped some serious cash there before, you might just find yourself climbing the list at a brisk pace. But even with all this insider play, trying to guess when you'll actually get your hands on that prized watch is like trying to predict the weather without a forecast. Rolex moves to its own beat, sending out watches on its own mysterious schedule. For dealers, getting their annual shipment from Rolex is a bit like playing the lottery. They put in their orders, but they don't really know what they're getting until the boxes are opened. So when you ask your dealer about what new watches they're expecting, don't be too surprised if all you get is a shrug. They're finding out right along with you, which definitely adds a touch of mystery to the whole process. And here's a fact for you. Rolex doesn't even finalize who gets what until after the watches are already shipped. When it comes to stocking those luxe timepieces, the dealers are pretty much at Rolex's mercy. They don't promise to fill every order, because they're the ones in control, and dealers just have to roll with it. This means your go-to dealer is as in the dark as anyone until those shipments land. Trying to pin down a specific watch by calling early? That's usually a no-go. And if a dealer has their heart set on a particular model that never shows up, well, that request just fades into the ether. As the secondary market sees a dip in prices, the thrill of flipping Rolex watches for a quick profit is cooling off. This shift means fewer people are buying these watches just to speculate on their future value. Instead, more watches are landing in the hands of those who appreciate them for their craftsmanship rather than just their price tag. Now, let's unpack how Rolex keeps a tight grip on its distribution channels. At the heart of their strategy is sticking to the price tag. It seems like authorized dealers have to sell at the manufacturer's suggested retail price, or MSRP. This is Rolex's way of making sure every outlet remains consistent and exclusive. Any dealer tempted to hike up prices might find themselves in some trouble, risking their cozy relationship with Rolex. This pricing policy stirs up quite the discussion and even a bit of drama among the folks in the industry. Additionally, Rolex has some pretty specific expectations about how its jewelers manage their inventory. They need to keep a certain selection of watches on hand all year round, chosen during powwows with Rolex reps. Sticking to this hand-picked lineup is key if they want to keep their status as an official Rolex jeweler. But here's a twist that might raise some intrigue. Rolex isn't just overseeing things from afar, they actually have the right to pop in for surprise checks. Yep, they can come in, look over sales and warranty records, or even do a full-on inventory sweep to make sure those rare models are right where they should be. This part of their agreement lets them keep a close eye on things, which certainly fuels some fiery debates among critics who think the luxury watch world is a bit mysterious. And get this, Rolex holds exclusive rights to any watch handed over to its dealers. So let's say a dealer is thinking about shutting down, stepping back from selling Rolex watches, or maybe they're hitting a rough patch financially. They can't just offload their stash to someone else or toss it into the wider market. This rule is how Rolex keeps a tight leash on its timepieces and stops them from spilling into the secondary market. If a dealer ever tries to sidestep this rule and sell the watches off to someone else, they're pretty much asking for trouble. They'd have to pay up the full price of those watches, and Rolex even has the right to buy them back. This gives Rolex the muscle to cut ties with any dealer or jeweler for several reasons, like dabbling in the grey market, not meeting order expectations, or just wanting to shake up their business model. Basically, Rolex sets the bar incredibly high, and the lengthy list of rules their dealers need to follow is crucial for maintaining and boosting the brand's prestige. This approach has its ups and downs, striking a fine line that dealers must tread carefully. It's not just Rolex playing this game. Other luxury players like Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe keep their networks just as tight. But Rolex takes the cake for keeping the tightest grip in the luxury watch world. And there you have it, our deep dive into the world of Rolex's authorized dealers wrapped up. What do you think about all this? Drop us a comment, hit that thumbs up if you liked what you heard, and don't forget to subscribe to catch all our future episodes. Thanks for tuning in to Opulent Oasis. We can't wait to hear your take on our next topic.